Welcome. I'm Kiwi with Kiwi Coaching. We're going to talk about improving your call to action today. So, this came out of probably one of the dumbest things I've said to my wife, and I've said a lot of dumb things to my wife. But we're standing in the kitchen, and my wife is complaining about, "Hey, I've been cooking dinner all the time, every day. This is exhausting." I was like, "Woman, don't do this." I was like, "Woman, it's not that hard." She looked at me, she's like, "Oh, really?" Realizing my foot was deep in my mouth at this point, I was like, I'll handle it. I can handle all the meal cooking for a week. How hard can it be?" Famous last words. What I was thinking was like, I just, take food from fridge, put on stove, make it like cavemen, right? Pick up phone, call pizza. Super simple. That being said, there's a whole lot more into just making dinner than I thought. In fact, everything that you do, every task has three mental loads. So let's break them down. So picking food out of fridge and putting it on the counter and actually thawing it and then cooking it, that's called the execution load, making dinner. But in order to make dinner, there needs to be food in the fridge, which means you got to go grocery shopping, which means you need to have a meal plan, which means you need to actually go through and collect the recipe cards if you're going to make certain meals. All of that is the logistics mental load. Now, the logistics mental load is a lot more heavy on your head, so to speak, than the execution. I can open the fridge, follow a recipe card real easy. It doesn't take a lot of thought. But actually building a meal plan and going to the grocery store and having all the stuff taken care of so that I can make dinner, that's a little more heavy on your mind. There's a third level that I didn't even consider when making dinner. And that was things like this. Will my kids actually eat the food that I'm making? Will they actually like it? Does this food actually meet the nutritional goals that me and my wife have for our health and our health goals? That's the emotional load. All three of these mental loads are there every single task that you do. And so here's what this looks like. I'll give you some examples of these in a call to action. So in a call to action, whether this is on email or whether this is in a speech or whether this is in, just a one-to-one presentation with somebody or a website form, everyone has a call to action, what they want them to do. And usually it's take the next step, book a call, send a reply, things like that. And so when I go to somebody and say I'm in a networking group and I want to meet with them and I want to do what we call a one-to-one, and I said, "Hey, I'd love to do a one-to-one with you. What's some times that are good for you?" Well, I didn't emotionally explain why I wanted to do a one-to-one. I didn't even give them options for times. And now they have to say yes or no whether they want to. I just gave all three mental loads to them. But if I change it, and this is really cool, we can break this down really simple. So for each one of these mental loads, let's get another color here. Emotional is why. Logistics is how and when. And the execution, that's the what. So this is what it'll look like. "Hey, I'd love to talk with you about your product offering or service. I really enjoyed your talk that you had. I got a couple of times available. We can meet online via Zoom. We could do like Tuesday at 10 o'clock or Thursday at 5 p.m. Which one works for you?" I handled everything for them. Now, one of the things I always get people like, "Well, when I do that, everyone tells me those times don't work." But now they've already committed to working with you. So you can make it even simpler. Say, "Hey, do you want some more times, or do you want me just to send you a scheduling link?" But if you send them a scheduling link right off the bat, they have to go figure out the how and the when. They have to open up the scheduling link, go through and compare it. When you say, "Here's 2 times, try it from here." Here's what I have found. Send 2 or 3 times. That's it. Keep it really simple because then they can look at their calendar and they can go, where are these at? And let's pick those. Perfect example of this. I usually send people 2 to 3 times. One of them's in the morning and one of them's in the evening, and they're not on the same day. I may have more available slots, but I keep it simple. "Hey, let's meet here or here. Which one works better for you?" If they send back, "Oh, those don't work for me. Do you got 2 more?" Yeah, sure. I'll usually give 3 more on the second time. But what they've done is they've already said they're interested in talking with you. Now, here's an example from a website form. If I go to the website forum and it looks like a doctor's office intake form where it's 8 pages of questions and you need my address, my mother's name, my mother's maiden name, and it's just like, oh my gosh. And then you're at the doctor's office, they ask you all those questions. And when you get back to meet with them, they just ask them again anyway. Don't do that to your clients. Do not do that. Keep it super simple. So on a website, what are the things you need? What are the bare minimum you need? One, you need their name. And sometimes just their first name, not even their last name. Two, you need a way to contact them. Now, collecting both email and phone is great, I have found that when I use just email, I tend to get it more often than email and phone, but I do like to collect both if possible. But I don't need email, phone, and address unless I'm actually physically sending them something. If I'm not sending them anything in the mail, then I don't need their address yet until they become a client. And then the third thing is what is the minimum amount of information I need to qualify them for the call? For some people, that's it. I just need name and email, and there we go. And then I'll put a little box if they want to put comments in, they can, but it's optional. But there are some things, there's some companies that I work with that have information that they need. For example, if you're an insurance broker and someone is looking for insurance and they've already worked with another insurance broker and they put it into the system and the system doesn't allow you to run two different clients or two different intakes from the same client, then okay, cool. It kind of rules them out. If something's going to rule them out and say you can't work with them, that's information that you could collect. Or if it's something that you absolutely need. For example, if you're selling Medicare and the person is, not eligible for Medicare because they're not at the 65 and 3 months requirement or something like that, you could have them put in a birth date or a little questionnaire. When are you thinking about getting Medicare? And they can just type it in right there. So, but keep it really simple. The more things that they have to do to reach out to you, the less likely they are to do it. All right, here's my rules for a call to action. Call to action, whether it's in a speech, whether it's a form, whether it's an email. Rule number one, you get one, not three, not four. Don't follow me on social media, do this thing, then go to my website, book it. No, give them one call to action. And then rule number two, keep it stupid simple. And not stupid simple like not intelligent or not smart. Simple as in like super easy to do. One of my favorite calls to action is if somebody's interested in working with me, I'll throw my number up on the board during a speech, and then I will say, hey, if you're interested in working with me, just text me yes. I'll even put a QR code up there that says scan me, and it will automatically scan, and then it goes right into their phone and it says yes with my number. So all they literally have to do is hit send. I took out all the typing for them. Like keeping it as simple as possible. Because when someone's interested and they're like, let's go, you want to keep this very simple. So I'll leave you with this. Make it simple, easy for them to do your call to action. Make it simple so it's easy to say yes. Make it simple so it's impossible to say no. Make it stupid simple.